So what we have today is a. Let me get y'all zoomed in a little bit. Okay, now you're seeing what you need to see. Okay, this is my Elgin. It's just a two. I think this is a 313. Shoot, I can't remember. And I got this off of eBay. And this is just a common watch. There's nothing special about this watch. Just this would have been a watch you would have bought. Oh, I'm sure it cost a good penny back then too. I'm not going to say this was cheap by any means. I mean, if you could afford one of these in the early teens and 20s, at that time, people wouldn't know, but the stock market was on its way downhill. But anyways, this still would have cost a pretty penny. I don't know what the annual income was at that time, but I'm sure it was nowhere near what today is, and to spend that kind of money for a watch would you probably would have had to made some good money. I think I remember my grandfather telling me his house payment was like $100 a month or something, and to him that was a lot of money. I don't know what he paid for the house, but I think he told me his house payment when he first bought his house was $100 a month. But anyways, so yeah, times have changed quite a bit. So this is just a 290 watch. Like I said, there's nothing special about it. This is not a gold case. It's no gold. It's all steel. Um, but it is nice though. And I pick these up sometimes when you can get them cheap. You can get these pretty cheap. Um, I think they could be cheaper, but you can get one fairly. Oh, just a light here. Just a minute. We'll try something. God, you can see that white. That white is just shows the light on everything. Porcelain is just like a mirror for light. So, yips. Let's let's see if we can work on this for a little bit. I don't have a lot of time today, so I might not get all this done, but I'm gonna do the best I can and show you the most I can. And I'll make a part two if we need to. I'll put part one in the video, and then we'll go to a part two. It still got some power in it. I wound it up yesterday because I put it on the time grapher, and you wouldn't believe it, but this thing is running like 0 to +2 seconds a day. And I haven't touched it. I haven't even touched this thing. This is going to be its first service that I know of. I have no history. I have no records of this watch. So this is going to be its first service from me. And we will fully service this watch. Now, when I say fully service, I'm going to say that's a partial service because I don't have a canyon pinion puller. I don't want to use tweezers to pull off the canyon pinion. So I'm going to leave the center wheel in, and I'm not going to take that out. So people want to bash me for it, that's fine. I don't care. I am not going to use tweezers to pull that out. Even though this is not a watch that's worth a lot of money, but it is part of my collection, and I would like to give this to my son at some point in time. Matter of fact, everything I have is planned for my kid. I love being a dad. It's just a great feeling to be a dad. Love it. All right, so we're going to let the mainspring down. And the way I do it, and I'm sorry, y'all, if you can't see, if it's blurred, I'm sorry for that. But what I do is I'll act like I'm going to wind it, and you'll watch the click. It'll release. It's between gears right now. So I'll take my tweezers and I'll hold it in that position. And if it's done right, you can see now. Oh lordy. Oh, I didn't want that. Oh, I didn't want that. Did y'all hear that zip noise? Oh, I try to avoid all that. Jeez. I have spare springs for these. Parts ain't a problem with this watch. Got plenty of them. But that does not mean that I want to go happy and go through every one of them. So let's get this out of the case. Geez, I was trying to take that out of the case. I didn't take the case screws out of it. And I sure do enjoy when people put all the when it's got all the case screws in it. It is a good deal to me. It makes the watch worth. Oh Lord. I don't think that's the case. Oh, it is. Oh, that's a half screw. Oh, well, my bad. That was a half screw that was in there. Is this one a half too? Oh, no, that's a full one. That's a full one. Is that a half screw? Huh. Can't see because of the camera. But I'll know when I take it out. That looked like a half a case screw. Huh. That's weird. I've never seen that on just one of these before. They're usually just regular old case screws. Maybe. Well, whatever it is, it's got a hold on this thing. Because it's not want to come out of the case. Come on, what's wrong with you? Have you been in there too long? I don't want to break anything. I don't think that's ever been taken out of the case. Wow. These just drop out. That did not drop out. I guess being a steel case, maybe. Maybe that's the drawback of a steel case. It doesn't, yeah, I think that's just a regular screw. Yeah. I don't think it's the right, well, it might be the right one. Well, I'll put it back in there just because it was in there. Okay, now that the power is down, what we can do is switch over to the Myers. Like the Myers, it's got that bead adjustment. Not sitting there going crazy on the wind and unwind. It's barely going to give it just enough to give it a holder in there. Oh, let's see what we're going to start with. What should we start with? Well, we could start with the ratchet wheels, I guess. Why not? Your large wheel is a left-handed thread. Is a right-handed thread. I'm sorry. So if you want to remember it that way there, and look where the screw went. This did this yesterday. I had the same problem yesterday. If anyone was watching, oh shoot, no, I don't know. No, I didn't post that yesterday. My bad. But a good way to remember this is your large gear, your large ratchet wheel is right-handed thread. Your small wheel is left-handed thread. It's reversed. So the large wheel is a right away. small wheel is the reverse way. So your small wheel here, you're going to go to the right. And you can also notice, if you can see, that the head of the screw is larger. So when you put this back together, you can notice that the head of the screw is larger than the other one. Or they'll identify it, they'll put lines in it. This may have 2 lines or 3 lines, depending on who makes the watch. And that's just also a way so that you know that this is a reverse threaded screw. And why it's reverse threaded is because when you wind the watch, if this was a right-handed screw, because this spins in reverse, it would loosen up every time. So by having this a reverse threaded screw, it's actually putting it tightening, it's keeping the tightness on. It's kind of like tightening the screw, but it's not going anywhere. Because it would not last if it was a normal screw. You would have to take this apart every day, or every time you wind it up, you would have to tighten it back up. Okay, you can keep these. I keep these separated a little. Well, I try to keep them separated, and all I do is I'll just put the gear on top of it so I know what's what. Okay, so I'll just put these two together. I'll separate them, or you can just put the screw right inside of it. That way you know on one of them, and the other one you can leave out. Okay. I'm gonna tell you a little something real quick. Just a second. Yesterday I was working on Illinois, and I was filming it, and I never took apart Illinois, and I'm so used to doing Elgin and Watkins that I wanted to just kind of make a pre-video, take it apart, get familiar with it. And I didn't know this, but on Illinois there was a little click spring over here, and it flopped over here. And when I put the watch back together, I could not get the click to work. I could not get the damn thing. Every time I wound it up a little bit, it'd unwind. And I could not figure out what the hell I'd done wrong. So I'm going back on my videos. That's why it's good to record yourself, so you can go back and you can see what you've done. And I could not find anything in this little space. There was nothing there. And I get out the eye loop and I notice a piece of wire that had a little uh, piece to it, little hook. And I was like, I bet you that's the click spring. And so I had to hold that over, put the click back down, put the wheel back down, and it finally held. So that just goes to show you when you go to work on watches, is it's very important, if you're new to watching, is to record yourself. You're not going to do nothing wrong with recording yourself if you're only helping yourself. Because if you don't know and you have to go back, you'll find the answer. Plus these are on the internet too. You can find somebody taking apart a 290. That's why I like to post these videos like this, is because, I don't know who takes these apart, who doesn't take these apart. I try to find videos sometimes of people taking things apart, and sometimes they're just not out there. Or there'll be something similar to it. Not exactly what you're working on, but you might find something similar to it. Okay, so the big question is, I guess people are asking me, well, why didn't you take the balance off yet? Well, I'm going to actually leave it on. I am going to leave it on for just a second. I am going to try something. This is a new charter area here for me. Not doing the 290, but I want to see something for a second by leaving it on. Okay, so usually there's a pry up point on these watches, and oh, it has a dust ring on it. Oh, look at that dust ring. Now I know this watch ain't been taken apart. that would not be on there if somebody took this apart. More than likely, that would have been gone. Okay? When you're taking off your bridges, always straight up. Straight up. Don't go off to the side. Don't tilt back. You do that there, and your bridge is going to break your pivots. Like I said, this watch was running excellent yesterday. I couldn't believe how good this watch was running. And it did have some jeweler marks in it. I don't know what they read, but I'll put this in the solvent. Go ahead and let that soak in solvent while we're doing this. Here are the gears. And we'll take these out. This is your long pivot that does your seconds. I am not going to soak those. I am just going to give them a quick little dunk, shake, and out. Some of you have seen my videos, you'll know why I'm doing that is because the solvent that I'm using is damn potent. It'll it's not diluted, and I left this on there for a reason. Oh, it's got a screw in it. Okay, well, so got a screw in there. Missed it. I was like, why is that not coming apart? But yeah, I'm trying something here by leaving the balance on. I want to see if it's possible to take this apart with the balance still on there. Huh. Wow, I didn't notice that. I did not see that. Well, this is a little different setup. Maybe. Huh. No, I don't think so. I'm trying to separate my... It seems like it's still got some wind in it. It shouldn't have any wind in it, but it's acting like it. That's not where I want to pry up that either. I don't want to do that. I said, oh, I was trying to go straight up with that. I didn't want to go off to the side. So I'll put that in the solvent. That can go in the solvent. That's not going to hurt nothing. Then we got our mainspring. That can go in the solvent. We got our keyworks here. It just fell apart. It just fell apart. Oop. Well, we got part of it. Now, I took one of these apart one time, and it took me forever to figure out how it went back together. I could not get that thing to wind up my watch. And I was like, God, it's just a tune. I mean, it all should be the same. I mean, what's, you know, what's holding me up. And I had it built backwards. So yeah, even though I do this all the time, um, still make mistakes. I still make mistakes. Okay, so this is dipped in the solvent, in the plastic, and man, I tell you what, it makes these parts shine. If you have any cuts on your fingers, you will know it. You will know it. It is not friendly. It is not friendly at all. If you are battle wounds, it will let you know that it is not your friend. All right, y'all, give me just a second. Let me get this. Let me see if I can get this. Oh boy, I can get this put back together real quick. I like to have this put together. This key works here. That way there, I know I'm good to go when I put it in the watch. Because, like I said, I'm not. I think it's only made one way to go back together. I don't think you can really screw it up. But like I said, I've screwed this up before. That don't look right. That don't look right. I think that has to be flipped around. That looks like it's got to be flipped around. I don't know. That's why I usually don't take those out like that, because when I have to put them back together, oh, killed the camera. When I gotta put it back together, it has to look right, and I don't know if that looks right. Well, no, that don't look right, because this has to go. That has to be turned around, because that has to go down into there. So I know that part ain't right. Well, I will have to maybe go back in my video, or I can take another watch apart and find out. There you go, something like that. You'll know when you got it, because it'll fit right down in there. It'll fit right down in there. Yeah, something ain't right yet. Yeah, I don't have something built right. Oh man, that's why I said last time I done this, I had the same problem. I was like, man, I didn't want that to come apart, because last time it came apart, I was like, let me see. Let me see something for just a we're going to have to make a part two because we're running out of time here. We're at 25 minutes already. But, all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a part two of this. And let me work on getting this back together. And we'll make a part two, and we'll get this cleaned up, and we'll get this back together. Like I said, I had only a little bit of time today, so I couldn't play around too much. But I appreciate y'all, and we will be back for part two.